think two eminent speakers, Gautam himself and good friend Alok Patti, who was the coal secretary, and I used to interact with him very extensively those days, have given all the details, and particularly from the discussions that Mr. Patti has brought out, it is clear that it is a story of confusion. It is a story of confusion where people who matter. Consumers don't matter at all in any case in this particular situation that it has been a monopolistic situation. It is only now that something has changed and its advantages will be available somewhat later. So it was all for the authorities between the Coal Ministry and Environment Ministry to sort it out. And the types of studies that have been carried out in the last several years, this story is a story of late 80s. In late 80s, it was recognized that Indian coal has a lot of ash content. The way we were going from underground mining to open cast mining, and the proportion just reversed. There was a time when underground mining was almost 60-70%, and open cast mining was in the range of 30%, 35%. The situation reversed. Open cast mining became the predominant part of the coal mining operations. And so the quality also followed with that. And it is not new as a subject that when we are going in such a big way on open cast mining, we need to be conscious about the quality of coal that we produce and the quality of coal that we finally supply to the industry. So in late 80s, also coal washery notification was issued. That should be done. Implementation was absolutely not attended to. Subsequently, it was felt that it should be again looked into. The study should be reorganized in the light of some new technology that might have happened, and also the cost economics of coal washing. And there was a time somewhere around 2010-11, I chaired a committee when we had two eminent personalities of the coal sector. The former chairman of Coal India, Partha Bhattacharya, and R.K. Sachdeva. R.K. Sachdeva, late Mr. R.K. Sachdeva. In his DNA, we had coal preparation, coal washing. So committed to see, and advisor to the coal ministry, so committed to see that coal that is produced in India does need attention and its quality needs to be improved. Mute, Gautam, mute. Gautam, you mute.
Yes, sir.
Some noise. Yeah.
Okay, ji.
And in that we discussed and this committee was after a national workshop that was organized by the Ministry of Environment. Tisya Chatterjee was the Environment Secretary. And a consensus was there in the national workshop. Of course, there were views against, but a consensus was there that the whole issue, the whole provision should be looked into. Two important things emerged. This committee reworked at the economics of coal washing, transportation cost, efficiency of operations, and all these put together. This committee came to the conclusion that not only 1,000 kilometers, but even if the transportation requirement is only of 500 kilometers, the economics goes in favor of coal washing. But more than that, a very different type of dimension was added in this committee report, that it should not be the obligation and the responsibility of the coal consumers. It should be the responsibility of coal supplier and coal consumer as well. So that is how the notification was drafted, that coal supplier shall supply and coal consumer shall use washed coal. This was a notification issued somewhere in 2012-13. Around that time, exact date can be different. I felt that something will happen. We also said that it is necessary This has been said again and again, again and again. Mr. Party, former coal secretary, rightly mentioned that there are issues of economics, there are issues of pricing. But coal industry and coal ministry absolutely have been insensitive to the requirement of coal regulator. It was said that put a regulator. In one of the budget speech of the finance minister, it has been said that coal regulator will be in place. When I was still in the ministry, in one of those years, we had also suggested, others had suggested, that this particular excuse or this particular explanation shall never end. People will say, and even today I heard quite loud and clear the former coal secretary saying that there are issues of pricing. Yes, there are issues of pricing, but there are solutions. And solutions are known now. Almost every segment of energy has a regulator. Gas has a regulator, power has a regulator, telecom has a regulator, everyone has a regulator. And therefore, when you have supplier and when you have consumers and you have an issue about what should be the price, if you are not in totally open market in competition, obviously answer is somebody should regulate. Now this has been going on and on and on and on. So price, obviously, I as an individual, I should take some credit that I was associated with two important developments in coal wash. One, as general manager of Dadri project, we signed an agreement with Coal India CCL with Mr. Chaudhary. He used to be MD at that time and later on became Coal India chairman. That power station, Dadri power station, far away, close to Delhi, shall have washed coal. And we signed that agreement. And even if it meant price extra, etc., that mechanism will be worked out. When I was in Mumbai Electric, I set up a power station and we did our wash ourselves. And that washery, 2.5 million ton washery, that happened. So it is possible. And not 34%, washing it to 30% as content. So it was possible. We brought a technology from USA, got some expert from USA, we did it. See, my own association of almost 50 years with coal industry has been that somehow some excuses are brought about not to do it or do it in a very lethargic manner. Make a commitment, 100 million ton will be done, 50 million ton will be done, 120 million ton will be done, and not do it. Absolutely not do it. Price is an excuse. You know that 400 ton of cess was imposed on the power consumers by way of the cess that has become a past part of GST, and finally coal suppliers passed on to the power consumers. That has been accepted. So that's not an issue. I was surprised when this particular notification was quashed, and now it is said that coal washing is not required. I think this is not the only webinar that we are doing today in the India Energy Forum. We did about a year ago. We decided, myself, Partha, Gautam, Party, all of us put together, we should join hands and write a good memorandum and take it as an agenda. Take it as an agenda that this should be done with Environment Ministry. See, Environment Ministry will be only too happy. Basic thing is that NTPC will not be, because NTPC, most of their power stations are in less than 500 kilometers anyway. Most of their power stations are pitted power stations. So asking NTPC their opinion is of no use. That is what we are doing. NTPC, when this notification was being withdrawn, some people checked with me and I checked with NTPC. And NTPC did say that we are not very much concerned because we have very few power stations far away, but most of the power stations are pitted power stations. We are not coming in that 500 kilometer or 1000 kilometer. So we have to ask people who suffer the burden of this bad quality coal, transport coal with all extra ash content in it, pay for the railways, and then increase the price. It is going to the consumers. What we did work out that time in around 2011-12, as I said, that at 500 kilometers we did a detailed calculation. Somehow Observer Research Foundation also, I have seen that study in great detail. They praise the washing as an approach, but ultimately they confuse the recommendation that we will have to further go into this, whether this, whether that, whether that. See, that is not the way these reforms have to be brought about. I only hope that when coal sector has been opened up, there will be choices to the consumers to buy coal from Coal India. That may not happen so soon. That may happen in maybe 5 years' time. Fortunately, the commercial coal block production is increasing. The growth in that has been more than growth in the Coal India production. I hope, that may be wrong also, that whether it happens or not, that under the pressure of competition, something will happen. People will try to see the benefit of buying better quality coal, paying for better quality of coal. But again, there is an urgent need that when the sector has been opened up, quickly we should put a coal regulator in place or enlarge the responsibility of the energy regulator, add experts from coal sector in the regulatory commission, in the appellate tribunal, like we did in case of petroleum. Petroleum has appellate tribunal with power. I think that is an urgent need. From the India Energy Forum, from these discussions, see, it is not that anything that you do, it will have all pluses. I'm not saying that with washing, there may be no disadvantage. There would be. That is why a distinctive treatment has been recommended by many of the studies, that it is not for everyone. Large distance, long transportation. But when we are talking of improving the coal quality, it is not only washing. The story of anything to deal with the quality of coal has been a story of indifference. Again, 50 years my association with energy sector, right from the 50 years back, gasification I have heard. And that gasification, that means gasify the coal so that emission level reduces at the time of consumption. That also has the same story. It is wrong to say factually that Coal India did not have profit. Coal India had tons of profit. They could have done it. They were our pioneer organization, the only organization. 90% plus 90% of coal continued to be with them all these years. Gasification has been stopped all these years. So it is not that only coal washery is the issue of. And for that matter, I may tell you that coal washery comes as second stage. Even coal, when it is produced at that time, reducing its size, taking it through some sort of a crusher, even without washing, cleaning it there. So first level of quality of coal is the quality of coal without washing itself. Even that's not done. Today also when I visit some of the power stations, intensity of that problem has no doubt reduced, but these problems continue. So sort of washing, which we are talking, whether dry washing or wet washing, sort of washing also there are number of things that are required and need to be attended to supply better quality coal. So better quality coal not always will be in washed coal. The first level of quality is that you give the sized coal, take away the whole useless extraneous matters. It goes in a proper way, as it goes in some of the power stations abroad. That's also needs to be attended to. So first level of quality is that, and then comes the washing. Then comes the technology. On technology, as I mentioned, that there is a need. The fund has to be there. Funds are there. They can create fund, but that is also not attended to. Other aspect, I will not only blame the coal industry. Other aspect of quality of coal and clean coal technology is also carbon capture and utilization, which totally belongs to power sector. So I would not give any clean check to power sector either, because the issue is CO2 emission reduction. And CO2, how do we handle this? There also studies have been done, something can be done, cost will be there. Some pioneer studies, some pioneer leading organization should take the lead and carry it out. Now carbon capture utilization also has become in the realm of Not, I will say, it is become totally inexpensive, but definitely this is something which need to be attended. So we are also appealing to the leading power generating companies, that one is pre-combustion treatment of coal and another is post-combustion treatment of coal. And that is definitely using better quality of power plant itself, reducing the carbon emission. So these are some of the thoughts. I'll come back again after listening to our experts. Thank you very much. I think it has been a very useful deliberation for 2.5 hours. I think it's more than 2.5 hours. And particularly the last session, technical, but technical, techno-commercial, and as you rightly said, it looks like a dream project. I think we have to adapt this whole exercise that has been done to a simple thing, that such a huge reserve of coal and now a billion ton plus that India will be producing. If we have to beneficiate and supply coal, beneficiated coal to the power producers, I was interested to see that a lot of byproducts happen in the process of your beneficiation, plasma and whatever process that you said. And therefore, the cost of beneficiation has to be offset partly by the lot of byproducts that get created when you beneficiate the coal in our coal mines and coal areas. That exercise has to be explained to the coal people and to the power people. Here the case is that we have one basket where coal is to be produced, coal has to be cleaned up and supplied to the power. And in that process, there is a cost, the process that you have said. But that process is not only the cost of beneficiation, it gives the advantage of several other byproducts that can be commercially beneficial. So finally, if we make the balance sheet of what are the costs to the coal industry or coal mine in beneficiating and supplying beneficiated coal to the power people, and to what extent that cost is balanced by the other commercial advantages they are able to get. Just to be explained that way, because this is a huge market. The very fact that the power industry would be using in terms of maybe 1.5 billion, 1.6 billion tons of coal in the next 5, 6, 7 years. So you have a huge market. It has to be also seen, till now we have been struggling, that whether it is 500 kilometer, 1000 kilometer, 200 kilometer, now this can be beneficial for any kilometer. The way you explained it looks very attractive, but this exercise has to be adapted to the needs of and the size. Here, any research project or technology project that sometimes get handicapped because the volume is not there. And the volume is enormous. A large amount of coal will have to be processed and a large amount of market will be created. So that is where Akshay, you have, where all the speakers made important contributions. Most of them, all of them, mention that beneficiating or washing or sizing different stages of improving the quality of coal that is to be supplied are essential. I don't think in today's discussion anyone is differing on this point. Anyone is not suggesting the business as usual will be okay. We have to get away from the business as usual and try to adopt or adapt. Just a minute. Mute yourself. Yeah. Adapt to a different sets of situations, the model that works. So I think this exercise and this deliberation has been very useful. We must thank on behalf of India Energy Forum all the speakers who have contributed. We have enriched our knowledge. And on the last presentation, I think there will need to be a great amount of follow-up. How do we sell this idea in the coal industry? How do we sell this idea in the power industry and the related industry? Thank you very much.